It is society's job to grow young people and place them in environments where they have the opportunity to succeed. Almost everyone I know wants to build community, happiness, families, and prosperity, and they are not able to find a good job. If all your plants in a garden are dying, you don't blame the plants. You blame the gardener. You blame the environment. And then you implement steps to fix it. You make sure the plants that are still alive are given opportunities to heal. And you make damn sure that you have fertile soil for your next generation of plants. There is this strange feeling in our society right now that young people are entitled. Young people aren't entitled. They deserve a future that is good for them. They deserve a future that's better than what their parents had, because at any other point in a healthy society's trajectory, the prior generation wanted to build a better world for their kids than they had. So this sense of young people being lazy and entitled is not something to blame the young people for. And it's not even a good way of looking about the issue. Young people are upset because they can see right in front of them that one generation ago, there were opportunities in abundance. And for some reason, those same opportunities are either completely evaporated, or they are so scarce that young people are competing with 100 to 1,000 other equally competitive candidates for one position. As a society, if you see a young person that is really excited about something and wants to work hard, it's our job to make sure that they have an opportunity to pursue that in a way that is fulfilling and allows them to support themselves. I understand that we have this fixation in America about capitalism and about lifting yourself up by your bootstraps. Lifting yourself up by your bootstraps is the most ridiculous, asinine saying that I can't believe ever gained popularity. It was supposed to be a joke when it was first invented, and now an entire generation of old people are telling young people that they just need to do it themselves. Whatever happened to being able to rely on your older family members in order to get you to a stable point in your life? We have this fixation in America about kicking our kids out when they turn 18 and just assuming that they're going to succeed on their own, and if they don't, it's your kid's fault. Family households are not a bad thing. Multi-generational homes are a sign of community in many other cultures. This idea that when you have children, you're only signing up for 18 years of pain and suffering until your kids are finally out of the house, and then you're finally free and can go do your own life. Don't have kids if that's what you think. It is so exhausting to put in so much work and effort and want to contribute, only to face rejection after rejection after rejection. And then when you finally do get an opportunity, employers are pretty prone to just lay you off at any time that they seem to want to increase their profits for a quarterly review. There was this sense of loyalty in our society at some point where employers promoted from within and did not lay off their employees. And employees, for the most part, stuck it out with those employers for a long time. It was a two-way relationship. And then eventually, we got to a point where the employers just decided, you know what? It's cheaper to hire from outside to fill new positions. And by the way, If we are struggling, we're just going to lay you off and not worry about you. The sense of your employer and your employment facility being a sort of home away from home was this overly romanticized and, you know what, somewhat disagreeable concept because it did cause problems in itself, but it was a heck of a lot better than what we have now. This idea that we are all replaceable. I was talking to someone who was drilling into me how every single employee is absolutely completely replaceable. He even thought it about himself. And I understand that there is this element of wanting to make sure that people are documenting their work. So if something does happen to them, the employer is still able to carry out their job. That being said, I am under the impression that your interactions with your employer is a relationship. And just imagine a different scenario here. Imagine that you are in a relationship with another individual and they drill it into you that, hey, I know we're together right now and that's cool and all, but I just want you to know that you're completely replaceable. You know, we're dating, but if I find a better option, I'm just going to go with them. You're replaceable. But that's okay because I think you know I'm replaceable too. That's not how we operate. Do you know what's not replaceable? The investment of your time, the emotional attachment that you put on building your life with a person or with an employer. We are failing as a society. Artificial intelligence is right over the horizon. And it's quickly approaching and encroaching on this idea of having to do any job at all. But the problem is that we have an entire generation that is implementing this, that has it in their core to assume that they don't need to create a fertile ground for young people to grow. You can't evaporate all of this opportunity to establish yourself without providing for the next generation. What are you even thinking, society? What are we doing? I went to college. I got lucky. I got work after college, after about 6 months of looking for the right opportunity. But I had my family to help me after I got out for a short period of time. But even while I wasn't making very much money, there's this idea that I was expected to pay rent at home because, you know what? You're an adult now. But I wasn't established. I didn't even have a good income, if any income at all some months. And I was desperately trying to find the right opportunity. I applied to so many jobs I lost count. I remember I got this terrible advice of, why don't you go with your resume into I thought it would be really cool to do data analytics for Kaiser. And there was an open position that I applied for online, and I had just been getting ghosted from position after position. And I was told, why don't you just go in with your resume and say, hey, I know this opportunity is there. I'm excited about it. Could I give you my resume and talk to you about the position? And I never made it past security. Like this idea that there are opportunities waiting for someone that's willing to work hard and put their neck out there is just like, apparently that used to be the case. But now you're expected to customize your entire resume for every single position you apply to. Fill out a cover letter, upload your resume to a job portal, then copy and paste every single element of your resume back into the job portal. minimum, it takes an hour to apply for each job. But if you want to do a good job applying and make yourself super competitive, spending 3 hours isn't unreasonable. And you're expected to apply to like 500 to 600 jobs before you get your first job offers. What are we doing? It's not like we're talking about people that don't want to contribute. They get jobs and eventually they find something that makes them happy and they establish a career. We have an entire garden of young people dying, withering away. They want to work and contribute and build prosperity together. And every single time, unless you know someone on the inside, even getting an interview is like pulling teeth. I am going to put together a video that goes into depth about what the experts are saying regarding artificial intelligence replacing the workforce. And later on, we're going to discuss how this will affect society as a whole. Because right now, if we continue with the trajectory that we're on, we're going to have a lost generation, or 3. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Tell me, what is it that you think we can do differently as a society to make sure that young people are given the opportunities to contribute, especially considering that AI is about to be a major disruptor? Have a great day.